report is about an alarming trend, rising food prices from grains to cooking oil, the price of basic staples skyrocketing across the globe. The reason for this is the war in Ukraine and droughts fueled by climate change. For countries, this is an alarming situation. Price hikes are worsening already existing food crisis, fueling protests in several countries across the world. In Argentina, thousands of farmers protested in Buenos Aires. This was against President Alberto Fernandez. His policies to curb inflation have been slammed by the agricultural sector. In the first 4 months of 2022, prices in Argentina rose to 23%. This includes a 6% jump in April. Things got so bad that people took to the streets. It's called Federal March for Work and Salaries. They demanded jobs, security, and a basic living wage.
Una familia tipo que se conforma por 5 personas.
A typical family made up of 5 people must spend around 80,000 pesos to survive. We see that Argentines do not earn that much money. They earn much less. So we are at a time in which the population is living below the poverty line, and many residents in Buenos Aires and the rest of the provinces are poor. This national march is to speak out on this.
Las provincias son pobres. Entonces, bueno, esta marcha federal un poco viene a mostrar esto.
Not just in Argentina, people took to the streets all across Latin America. Protests continued in Chile, Uruguay, Venezuela, Colombia, as people slammed the rising cost of living. In Greece, thousands took to the streets. Their complaints same: a surge in energy and food prices. Greece's annual consumer inflation accelerated to 8.9% in March, hitting its highest level in over 27 years.
The wages are meager in comparison to the rising prices at the current time. The people are exhausted. There is a serious problem here, and this crisis is bringing Greek society to its knees. To its knees.
In West Asia too, the situation is no different. Prices of some essentials have shot up by as much as 300%. The surge has triggered widespread unrest. Earlier this month, Iran slashed subsidies on basic food items. New prices of wheat and flour were announced. This is how people reacted to this. These protesters, they're chanting death to Raisi. It got so bad that the president himself issued a response. He refused to restore the subsidies, saying that he won't shy away from making hard choices. Protests escalated into violence. A protester was shot and killed in the Sunni city of Madani as demonstrators marched across the country to protest a military coup. Sudan's currency has lost more than a third of its value since the coup, rapidly driving up prices of food, fuel, and other goods. Global food prices started to rise in mid-2020. This was when businesses shut down due to the pandemic. Since then, there have been problems with key crops in many parts of the world. The Ukraine war dramatically worsened the outlook for food prices. The UN Food Agency says prices hit an all-time record in February and then again in March. The big question here is, when will the prices come down? That's hard to say. Agricultural production depends on hard-to-predict factors like weather. The United Nations says the problem of global food security cannot be solved without restoring Ukrainian agricultural production and Russian food output. The World Bank forecasts that the wheat prices could rise more than 40% in 2022. The sharp rise in fertilizer prices could also discourage farmers. This could bring down yields and result in lower production. As climate warms, extreme weather is becoming more common. posing yet another risk to crop production across the globe.
Alright, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakodash, Al Amat. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, a salutation to the hopeful elect. You know, the brethren that are teaching His word in truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth, the house of David, the Bayit, Shaldawada, the elect. I'm the brother Sion from GMS Suriname, and I want to do a lesson in Lord's will. This is edifying to the hopeful elect. As you saw the video, man, I just play, man. Just food prices rising around the globe, you know, and it's prophecy. A big famine is coming, you know. But what I want to touch on, you know, is these uproars of these people, man. These protests, you know. Because the words of the Heavenly Father, they don't lie, man. You know, everything is coming to pass, and we the prophets, don't say that we don't tell you. Don't say you didn't hear the words. Don't say you didn't hear the prophecies that we've been prophesying, man. Years in and years out, man. You know, I'm gonna talk to the people in the Suriname language that they can understand. This is a quick hit. So brada na nga sa mina brada sayan fu GMS Suriname may kumba ka nga wani nga karakter nga hisu amoro iwa nga wasawe kargado et truning in et Hebrews na Yahweh ina nefe wonderbar so na wasawe kar Jesus Christus et truning in et Hebrews na Yahweh Shai may kumba ka nga watra video isa fato dis na was snel wang misi a video sabi dong bari kata kompleng upalak isabi dong amoro iwa wani de no te ka video down isa fato ante record the video so load up bakata YouTube tema walo rihals na nga desan dati isabi to ma amoro iwa wani a go out and at edify fu soryo tak the prophecy ne lay isa fato the prophecies ne lay na true le fa a prophecy etak tak protesto o de tapagron tapo fu siya hawo siya ikong isa fato dat na sawesi au agron tapo ogo ino bumpiki hunger snoot problem dat na sawesi wan praise fu nya sani e for hoog lek noti isa fato de krelek Spider-Man isa fato man a prophecy this na book of 2 Esdras hoofdstuk 9 katagya so verse 1 he answered me then and said measure thou the time diligently in itself and when thou seest part of the signs pass tayo bigesi bapalov den tika na eko in fulfilling which I have told thee before then shall thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Tuwo bigay sinetika na tapagron tapo rin sa big batak na ufarate ni sa muro yung betak o buso kagron tapo na nga problema for siya hawo siya yung making tweet comes. Isabi to na inatin na tuwe libi udi na ain't isab fato katagya therefore when there shall be seen earthquakes tayo bigay si RB nga verschillen na presi pagron tapo and uproars of the people in the world tayo bigay si protesta for the people tapagron tapuan ja ina video tayo kuya si asma sorry protesta in verschillende kondre tapahir gron tapu door for hooking fu futsal praise isa fato asori in Sudan in Griekenland Argentina karkong walo kondre isa fato daarom may ka scripture tak to and uproars of the people in the world. Isabi to, a prophecy, verse 4, then shall thou well understand that the Most High speak of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. Das na inatin at wilibi. And o erok, like fafrota kina video, unosap o ding de preso o verlaag. Next ne verlaag, alasan ne gwalok to. Alasan na forhoog do de so problema calamity ito ma uno sang di na true usap sa tak na prophecy e fulfill isabi to we fearing to mar u up faith in Yahweh Bashim Yahweh say on that this na sa uwan this na sa uwan sita pagron tapo the word of amoro yomus ko in fulfilling and we sitak true de ko in fulfilling overs no te ko mamoro yo mata kuno de uno sa ebribi wonya wodri penetrawang o overs no to kirdeng torso kirdeng maar uno de bribi wang en wetan bribi isa fata uno nom vrede maar faith geloof in amoro wang en karna de truning Yahweh Yahweh Shai is a fatok. This is now a short one. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakudash Shalamat. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, a salutation to the hopeful elect. Shalom.